Howdy folks, thanks for stopping by my channel for a little narrative I put together on my first eastern wild turkey harvest. On April 13, 2003, I took a short trip over to the Kansas side of the state line to do some turkey hunting at Hillsdale State Park and Wildlife Area. Before I headed out west, I decided to spend some time making certain my Benelli Nova pump shotgun and the turkey loads I chose for the hunt were a lethal combination. It's always very important to pattern your shotgun before hunting so you are comfortable with its effective range. A clean, ethical harvest of game should be a top priority of any hunter who takes to the field. I'll try to paint the picture for you. This was a morning to remember for me, since it was my first time to attempt taking one of these magnificent birds. After arriving the property, I quickly gathered my gear from my truck and headed toward a spot I had picked out during a pre-season scouting adventure with my family. Once at my chosen spot, I set up my decoys and got settled into a clump of small trees. Sitting 100 yards or so west of the base of a real nice slope, I was treated to the sound of turkeys sounding off on their roost. Just as soon as the sun started to make its grand appearance in the eastern sky, the turkeys fell silent and began their descent into the fields around the timber where they roosted seconds earlier. Well, as any turkey hunter will tell you, things didn't go exactly the way I'd planned. For the next couple of hours, I walked the property in search of turkey activity. I've been hitting my crow call and various turkey calls as I enjoyed my hike. Just when I was starting to make my way back to my truck, I heard the distant sound of a gobbler sounding off. The bird sounded like he was in the timber I was facing during my early morning setup, so I headed off in that direction. As I neared the gobbler's position, I found that not only did I have to cross a barbed wire fence, but I had to navigate a relatively steep slope covered with fallen leaves. It would be no small task to approach Mr. Tom without being heard. As I started to ease over the fence, a passenger plane flying high in the sky above me muffled the sounds I made. As I got into position, it appeared this lone gobbler was working a strut zone at the top of this slope. He didn't answer my calls from the diaphragm I had in my mouth, but he really talked back to my crow call. After talking back and forth for a couple of minutes, the old bird finally made the mistake I'd hoped he'd make. As he showed his shiny white head over the grass at the top of the slope, I introduced him to a load of number 6s from my Benelli Nova pump shotgun. I was beyond pumped as I made my way up the slope to retrieve my trophy. As I gazed at the beautiful wild turkey I had just taken, I realized that not only did the good Lord treat me to a beautiful morning in His creation, but I was blessed with a magnificent 20-pound spring gobbler on my first turkey hunt. The 20-pounder had 1-inch spurs and a 7.5-inch beard. Not wanting to fork over the dough for a turkey mount, I decided to go the do-it-yourself route and preserve my memories with a fan mount. Thanks for taking the time to share in my memories of my first turkey hunt. Happy turkey hunting to you.